Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sonia, also known as SG from Let the Ladies Speak podcast, where we have healthy discussions about life, love, dating, and relationships while promoting self-love and healing. Tonight, I want to talk about the nice guy and why you should beware of the nice guy and what to look for. This video was motivated by one of the subscribers who asked for more behavioral analysis of Zach and Gil, and I probably would throw in a few more castmates. This cast is actually like one big case study. I'm kind of sad that I didn't review the whole season or do commentary on the whole season because there's a lot to unpack here. And now it's at the end and I can't go back and watch all of the season again because it's just too much and I don't have the time. But we're going to talk about that tonight. First and foremost, though, I want to welcome you to my channel. If you are new, thank you for subscribing. I got some London love. Thank you so much for the London love. Welcome to my channel. And then if you are returning, welcome back, family. Good to see you. If you are just passing by, thank you so much for stepping by. If you like the content, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. And everyone, please like, share, and subscribe my content if you feel like it can help anyone. That's my goal, okay? So let's talk about the nice guy. The nice guy and the nice guy syndrome. A lot of the men in the manosphere right now are the nice guy. They're the guy who is being nice and who fancies himself as a very nice guy. However, the intent behind his niceness isn't pure. And that's the nice guy I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a kind, good, wholesome human being. I am talking about the nice guy that comes off as being so sweet and so nice, but everything he does has an agenda. And women can do this too. I'm using guy because of the book. By the way, there's Dr. Robert Glover has a book titled No More Nice Guy. And he talks about the nice guy and the nice guy syndrome. There's a lot of articles out there on it. There's this book and there's like a PDF outline of this book, which is what I read for this. You guys should check it out. But you have to beware of the nice guy because, you know, that guy that you thought was so nice, but all of a sudden became very angry towards you. That's what I'm talking about when we talk about the nice guy. So for the men who I have that are subscribed to my channel, I'm not tearing anybody down, but there are some people that pretend to be nice just to get what they want, right? So to use the definition from Dr. Glover's book and from some articles that I read, the nice guy syndrome are used to describe men who view themselves as the prototype nice guy, but whose nice deeds are in reality only motivated by attempts to passively please women into relationships and or sex. Okay. The nice guy lacks self-confidence. He may not view himself as attractive, or he's been told that he's not attractive. He may have been raised, according to Dr. Glover, he was raised without a lot of masculine male guidance. And so he has kind of been morphed into thinking that if he does what a woman wants, because, you know, if he did what his mom wanted and his mom would say, that's my baby, he's so good. And then he would, that's how he got what he wanted. And so that's what he's used to. And there's other studies that basically says that that nice guy comes from, you know, being around very dominant women. And again, not having any men who were dominant or masculine to help give him balance. Like Cornelius from Ready to Love kind of reminds me of that nice guy, where he's just used to women being very overbearing, very assertive and aggressive and taking charge of everything. And he just knows to be nice so he doesn't have to deal with any of that behavior, because some nice guys just don't want conflict. So I'm going to tell you some of the things that nice guys oftentimes do so you can kind of pay attention to it, and really just to put light on how they're really not the nice guy that they want you to believe they are. And I told you before, a lot of people just want to control your mind. They want you to believe their reality. And the more educated you are, the more you realize the reality of what's happening. So The guy that promotes that he's a nice guy. That's one thing you saw with Gil and Zach. They both kept saying about how nice they were. I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. I'm a good guy. You know, Zach said several times. I had to call people to confirm whether or not I caused this kind of reaction and things like that. But when you know who you are, you don't have to sell yourself for who you are. You know, so be leery of someone that's always telling you who they are. Words have meaning and words have power, right? Spelling, curse words, all of these things get their terms for a reason. So be careful what you allow someone to speak to you constantly, because a lot of times people are trying to convince you of their reality. And a nice guy needs you to know how good they are, how nice they are, although they may not even believe that or know that for themselves. So go by their behavior and action, and not necessarily by just what they tell you. And be careful. The nice guy, the sinister nice guy. I'm using the term sinister. I made that up. That's not in this book. Okay. He doesn't sympathize or empathize with women. You know, they don't think that women have been abused. And I see that so much in these comments. If you say anything about what a woman has gone through, it's like the two can't coexist. They will just, you're delusional, you're in denial, you're going to die alone. Like, the conversation is so crazy to me. And it's like, here, I am a person. Let me just say, I have seen abuse on both sides. I have seen women abuse and use men. I have seen men abuse and use women. I am an equal opportunity person here. Okay. I don't feel like anybody, either gender, is exempt from poor behavior. That's why I focus on behavior, trauma, and getting well, because people have been traumatized and people are unhealed, and these behaviors are showing up different ways. So, you know, male or female, you both can be wrong and they can coexist. Okay. He can also put down other men who are more successful than him and who can get the woman that he wants. Like, there's a lot of jealousy there. Everybody is, so all of this simp talk, he's a simp, he's a simp. A man is not a simp for caring and protecting and providing for his woman. That is what he's supposed to do, especially if he has given that woman his last name and he has said that you are my wife. You know what I mean? But you know, because there's that anger, and I'll get there, that's what they focus on. And it's born out of pure jealousy. He pushes or crosses the boundary. I talked about that with Gail, how he constantly pushed Merla's boundaries. No matter what she said, he pushed her boundaries because he felt like he deserved to get all of the things that he wanted from her, right? He felt like, you should kiss me. You should be intimate with me. You're my wife. You know, if you notice him saying at the beginning, that's my wife. I don't care. That's my wife. Your wife is an individual and she's a human being. And on the show, she is a stranger. Okay. So you have to allow a person to have agency over themselves and respect their boundaries, no matter what. He doesn't take rejection well. That nice guy, you know, soon as you say no to him, he's angry. You know, all of this, these men that are playing nice and offering to buy women things, and when a woman says no, they're beating them and killing them and things like that. That's a prime example of that. And, you know, I was born in the 70s, so I got to see that transition from when men, like, you know, really protected women. Not saying there wasn't abuse and things like that, there were, but as a whole, you would see men being more gentleman-like, to when NWA came out and kind of everything went away from there. But I don't blame NWA. I blame the lack of parenting, and crack came in and did a lot to our community and our country as a whole. So, but that's a different story for another time. Nice guys are often overbearing or lacking in vision and ambition. And a lot of times these guys are very intelligent, but they just don't know what to do with that intelligence. They don't know what to do with their gifts, right? They lack guidance. They don't have mentorship, which is one of the things I would say, seek mentorship, but I'll get to that later. A lot of times, nice guys are dishonest. They're being dishonest because they need you to believe an image of them, right? Like, how many times did we catch a couple people, but in particular, Zach and Gil, being dishonest. It's because I want you to believe. Again, because they are very careful of the image that you have of them. They want you to believe that they are this really nice, sweet, kind guy, and they have no imperfections. Again, this applies for women too. They can be controlling. We saw that with Jose. We saw that with a little bit with Gil, but you saw it a lot with Jose. Again, can come from abandonment issues, but also because I need to control this narrative, because you have to think of me and see me as this person. It just like you could throw narcissism in there, because what is narcissism about? It's all about control. It's all about an image. It's all about grandiosity. So they have to control that narrative. The nice guys are passive aggressive. How much did we see that with Gil's behavior? He was extremely passive aggressive. And with that, they become extremely frustrated and they become extremely resentful. And for me, I saw like his behavior kind of like escalating as time went on. The nice guys are full of rage. Yes, a lot of them are full of rage, and they're full of rage because they have all of this anxiety, all of this trauma that they haven't dealt with, all of maybe not dealing with speaking of the trauma, like past bullying. Like if you look back at Google Gil from his bodybuilding days. He does not look like the same person at all. And you can tell he's had a lot of oral surgery, even since the show, which, there isn't anything wrong with it. I have braces in myself. But was that a source of pain for him? Like, was he constantly bullied? Was he rejected? Was he picked on? Did he have major insecurities about his teeth and his looks? So, and I kind of think that may be the case, because he talked about how for 6 years he wasn't in a relationship. And again, to all the women who defend him, who feels like he's such a great, wonderful guy, he basically said he used women for 6 years. He was like, they're all flings. They were all flings. I'm like, so you just left a carnage of 6 years worth of women that you were flinging with. You couldn't commit to any one of them. Like, if you are a person with some integrity, that is not how you're going to operate, in my humble opinion. So yeah, he may have just been picked on, and then the trauma that he endured as far as the loss of his father and being without his father, like there's so much that we could probably take and put into why he has that nice guy image, right? But again, I'm not diagnosing. I don't know. I'm just speculating. This is just my opinion. Nice guys can have addictive behavior and tendencies. I think, maybe Zach's sexual drive could be his. The same with Bao, actually, if you throw that in there, because sometimes sex isn't a loving interaction. It is a physical one, but it's also a way of numbing and hiding pain. That's why it is so important. One day I'm gonna do a video on questions you need to get the answers to, and coping mechanisms is one of them. You want to know how a person deals with things, because they can have addictive tendencies. It's a way to manage anxiety. It's a way to be in control. Nice guys have difficulty with boundaries. So you have the one type of guy that may have difficulties setting boundaries for other people. Cornelius, right? He has no boundaries. And that is concerning. But again, he's the nice guy, probably just wants, things to just smooth over. I just want things to be okay. I just want to keep things copacetic. And so if you want to overstep the boundaries, okay, because they like to people please. And then you have the other nice guy who knows no boundaries and who will push your boundaries at every turn, because they feel like secretly you owe them. There's this huge entitlement that they have. I am entitled to you, because I've been nice to you. You should give me whatever it is that I want. Frequently have problems with intimate relationships. And a lot of times that's because there's poor communication skills. They can't communicate themselves. You saw that with Zach. Zach couldn't get his sentences out. He couldn't communicate in a healthy manner. You really saw that with a lot of the cast, where people just were not willing to say their truth. But some people were doing it because I need my image to be a certain way. And then some people were doing this because they don't want to hurt you and upset you. You know, they don't know how to problem solve. Problem solving is key in relationships. You got to be able to manage your emotions, deal with issues. Again, they don't want any conflict. And we saw that. A lot of times they can't listen. We saw that with Jose. They don't listen well because there's a fear of rejection. And then there's just like so much anxiety. They're so anxious that they can't bother to manage their feelings because they are so kind of bracing themselves for what you may say, how you may reject them, what you may be thinking, you know. And so they don't really hear well. And then there's just this reaction, and the reaction usually doesn't turn out well. So those are some of the signs and red flags of the nice guy. And we're just going to get into like, how can we help? So how can you protect yourself? How can you help? How can you deal with this? These are my suggestions based on my reading and my life. So for the ladies and gentlemen who has the nice girl, who has a woman who has the nice girl syndrome, don't ignore the red flags. Never ignore the red flags, no matter what. Trust your gut, trust your eyes, trust yourself. When you see that there's something wrong, you know that there's something wrong, take heed to that. If people come and tell you something, you don't have to react right away, but please, by all means, investigate and pay attention to the red flags, okay? Next, when you are rejecting a person, make sure you're firm, but we're kind in our rejection. Okay. Be firm, but be kind. Don't be ambiguous. I see a lot of people do that, where they're kind of like, they're kind of vague. They're kind of leaving the door open, kind of maybe possibly. No, be firm. Don't lead anybody on. If it's a no, it's a no. Okay, that's why they talk about, he talked about how, Dr. Glover talked about how a lot of the nice guys get put in a friend zone. Don't friend zone somebody like that. Okay, if it's a no, let it be a no. Don't play those kind of games, because you don't ever want to play with someone's feelings or emotions. Okay, you never know what's going on inside of them, and you don't want to be the brunt of that. So be kind. And lastly, don't use them, don't take advantage of people. Basically, if we feel like they have nothing to offer us, if we really don't want to be with them, don't use them. To the men or women who have the nice person syndrome, work on yourself, your self-esteem, and set goals for yourself. Any areas that you feel insecure about, work on managing your anxiety, figure out where that's coming from and ways to get rid of that and exert it. Like working out is a great way to do that. But work on managing your anxiety and the source of your anxiety so you can seek professional help for that. Check your intentions. Make sure your intentions are pure with the actions that you are doing, and you're not doing these actions to get something, but because you really want to do it from your heart or from a good place. And take accountability and responsibility. Some of you guys push yourself on a person and then they go along with it. And then when they reject you in the end, then you're angry. So, if someone tells you no, or they don't want to be with you, that's okay. Life is full of no's. You'll get a yes when you're supposed to, but just walk away and leave that person alone. Don't push to be with someone. If they want you, they'll be with you and they'll treat you right, and you deserve to be treated right. Okay. So that's it for tonight's commentary. Hope you guys have a great evening. Please don't forget to love you for who you are. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.